Hey everyone, welcome back to the Creative Scene podcast. This is our 6th episode. Thank you for joining us. Niaje Alex?
Niko poa.
How have you been?
Been good. How have you been?
Been good as well. Wiki yako imekuaje?
Imekuwa sawa.
Imekuwa sawa. What have you been up to?
I've been doing some artworks and I'm waiting to post my artworks on my socials. So stay tuned.
Okay, so we're looking forward to that. Inakaa ni kama like it's something.
Mambo mbaya. So tulieni tu.
So we're waiting. My week has also been great. There's been so much going on during this week. Work has just been crazy, but we keep going nevertheless. And I'm excited. This is our 6th episode. Our 5th episode, we covered motion graphics design. We had an amazing guest, Chebet Kimeto. You've probably seen her work on your screens. We had an amazing conversation around motion graphics and how she grew as a designer and how she got to where she is currently. And aside from that, we also talked about women in design, how to get opportunities and the challenges maybe women face in the industry. It was an amazing conversation, so make sure you check it out. You can also check out our previous conversations. Tumekuwa na so many amazing guests hapa. So make sure you check them out on YouTube. Yes, this is our 6th episode. Today we are still in the digital space in the creative industry, and today tuko na an amazing guest. He's a creative designer and 3D animator. This guy has worked with so many brands, yani majina kubwa. Just to mention a few, he's worked with Cover Up on a UI UX project which won the InsurTech Africa Award in 2019. He's also worked with IFC's Agile Response to the Pandemic, International 3D Animation Project with Reality Logics. Yani, you're just mentioning big brands up, so I had to mention that. And today we are glad to have this guy. I've been following him for so long, since 2019. And he's one of those guys, like, they push you, they challenge you. And today we are glad to have the one and only. I'm glad to have met you for the first time. So today we are glad to have Vick Mure, or as he likes to go by Vick Mure. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Glad to be here. And as you said, as women in tech, and you being the lead woman in this production, props to you. And it's such a pleasure, and you guys having me. I'm honored. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for sparing the time to come here. I've been following you for a long time. Nimeona growth yako, like you're doing amazing things, and I had to bring you here because najua you have so much knowledge and insights that I'm sure people can learn from.
Thank you as well.
Yeah, so how did you get into this industry? Because you unafanya motion graphics, animation, graphic design. How did you get into it?
Doing a jack of all trades. My journey started right after Shangtao. Shangtao is 2 years, right? Yeah. But I did it in 1.5 years. Okay. Long story short, I was caught doing other people's assignments. And then they were like, we need to expel you or something. I just pleaded my case to the board. I just told them, I need money to be able to even get fare to come to school. So that's where so here's the thing. I started like a business of helping people with the assignment. I helped everybody who was behind me and within our class. Now I needed more business. Where was more business? The people in front of us, right? The people in the class ahead of us. Yeah. So I started getting to school early, learning tutorials to be able to do projects that final years are doing. So that's when I was caught. I'm not proud. It wasn't my proudest moment. But I told them, so while I was in the review board, I just told them, challenge me. Actually, you know what? I can sit for these exams and pass. Just to show you I actually love animation. They're like, okay. Everybody knew I would fail. I got a distinction.
Wow.
And that's where I just cleared the 2-year course within 1.5 years. So that's where my journey started.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. And how much were you charging? That's the final project.
Yeah, not the final project, just the normal assignments. You know, Chantal is very strict with deadlines and all that. Don't do this, it's not very good. But they are not advising guys to do this, but it was like 2K per project.
2K per project.
2 per assignment.
Yeah, okay. I tried doing that once.
How did it
Final project. I was like, nah, I can't do this. Because this guy is out there having fun. Alafu mimi niko hapa nimeketi namfanyia project and I still have mine to do.
Yeah.
Alafu she wasn't paying me. So okay, I didn't have that mindset at the time. Okay. Yeah, so nikamwambia tu, yo, here's your project, nimefikisha hapa, you can do the rest. But okay, that's a funny story. So you do 3D animation, graphic design. So what are you specializing in, or are you doing everything?
Currently, I'm specializing in animation, 3D, specifically 3D animation.
Okay.
My journey for like doing design and animation is my first internship was in a studio called Bonzo Animation. And when I got there, the studio had 4 people. Like, you know, the entire production pipeline of animation. So there's a guy for animation, there's a guy for rigging, and there's a guy for 3D modeling. Illustrations, they used to hire a consultant. So when I got there and they asked me, what do you do? I told them I can do everything. Courtesy of Chantal and Mr. Wallace.
You had to know everything, at the music production.
Yeah, Chantal taught us everything. I think I learned more in Chantal than my counterparts in universities, if I can say that. Yeah. You're a witness. You've been there.
It's true, it's true.
Nigeria has been there, right? And so when I told them I do everything, they told, so for this internship you have 3 months to do it. So every 2 weeks you're going to sit with each of us. For the next every single 2 weeks you sit with each of us, and then for the final month you decide where you want to settle. And I thank God for Kibe. Kibe was the producer at that time. And he really gave me the confidence. He really impacted. You know, when you get an intern, even right now as a studio, as creative scene, when you get an intern, there's that mentorship you want to build, the confidence. You feel as if you want to transfer your entire confidence to them, right? So that's what Kibe did to me. So I started off within the 2 weeks I did the illustrations. They were like, we actually don't need to hire the consultant again. I apologize for that consultant, but
you took someone's job.
Pushing yourself. So by the end of that internship, I was immersed in the entire production process. So I knew and even learning Blender. You know, Maya guys, we are very proud industry standard.
It's like guys with iPhones. Maya people are like guys with iPhones.
Yes. But I'm very far away from that.
No. I've seen your conversations, those fights between Maya and Blender. I've seen those conversations.
Definitely. Maya has its parts. Blender has its parts. Yeah. It's like sumo wrestling and boxing. Different industries. They both fight. They are both painful, but very different. But when we look at, so by the time I was done with that, I was like, Kibe told me, you don't have to do everything. Because this industry, when you get out here, you'll realize you need everything. So that's the word that I went with. That's the word that I took it and flew with it for the next 2 years. So immediately after that internship, got back home, and my dad was like, chill, relax, because I started Shantao. You know how you guys had, when you are clearing high school, you have the long holiday to start off. I cleared physics, was my last paper, on Wednesday. Monday I was in class in Shantao. So there was no break for me. Okay. So the minute I was done with Shantao, then when I got into Bonzo Animation, when I wrapped up that internship, my dad was like, now chill and relax. It didn't end. That was Friday. Saturday I got a call. Can you report on Monday? And now I got another internship, a design internship. In a just studio design. Nitasema ninajua.
Utasema unajua.
Yeah, nitasema ninajua. Because you know, idunia ukiambiwa, can you do this? Yes, I can. Vio YouTube. Haraka. So that's how. So in the interview they were like, hey, we see you got a distinction, you know, you see you are actually very good at what you do. Luckily for me, the people there, they didn't know. If you know 3D animation doesn't mean you know design.
So you're thinking
hey, God was looking out for me. So as they were walking me through their whole process and getting into the office, I met the lead designer there. So they were like, yo, his name was Eric. Can you talk to Victor for a minute? I come back. Now the boss. So when I sat down with him, he was like, unajua Illustrator? Unajua Photoshop unajua, you know, Shangta we did the fruity thing.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, sema unajua. Wewe sema tu unajua. And I went back to the interview after the boss took her call and she called me back. I told her, yeah, I know Illustrator. That's one of the softwares, you know, he's using. And the lady was like, okay, we'll call you. So when I went back home, I told Dad, hey, Apo, I think nimechoma. Sidhani kantapata because sijui kitu. But nilisema najua. My dad called like, it's okay, my son, relax. And 2 days later they called me, and that's when I started the design journey. So when I went there, it's Edwin. Edwin is the name. Props to Edwin. He's an amazing mentor. So when I got there, Edwin told me, so from today henceforth, anything you're told to do, you say you know how to do it. Then you come to me, I'll show you how to do it. Yes. Do you know I designed an invitation card for a whole week? It took me a whole week to design an invitation card. And that's where my design journey started, because Edwin walked me through the entire production process of design, the thought process, the creating of 3 samples, making sure you capture a client's idea, the branding. He used to give me assignments. So history ya kujituma ilianza kitambo sana, because guys in the office, it was an NGO, it's called LBCT. Guys in the office get to the office around 9-10 a.m. and then they leave the office at 4. You know, NGOs are very easy. Make sure your production is, your work deliverables are done. So guys were easy. I was getting in the office at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., leaving the office at 9 p.m. So the reason is, I'm given an assignment to do an annual report. I don't have a clue how to do it.
So it takes you longer.
I have to wake up early in the morning. There's some tutorials he'd saved on YouTube. He created a playlist for me where like 1 hour, 2 hour tutorials. So that's where my journey started as a designer.
Having explored all these fields from graphics design to motion graphics, 3D animation, how have they shaped your creative process?
Speed in terms of churning out content.
Yes.
You're given a brief and you're able to give a 24-hour turnaround time, because let me give you a quick. It's a very bad shortcut, but it's a shortcut that works. Okay. If you have an animation that you need to do, and you don't have time, so you make sure your key poses are straight on point, assuming that our audiences are very familiar with the entire production pipeline. So if you're making sure your key poses are on point and your in betweens are well done, and you don't have time to polish, just take it to After Effects and speed it up, like 1.2, 1.3, and then it becomes a very perfect.
And it works. That's like through interpolation. Or
Yes. It works.
That's interesting. Now you mentioned that you were working at what's this? The previous company you were at?
Boomplay.
Yeah, you were working at Boomplay.
Yeah.
And you were the lead designer.
Motion graphics designer, yeah.
Motion graphics. Okay. So what was it like being a leader, and how did that
impact?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So biggest lesson I learned there was structure.
Okay.
Yeah. That, well, they introduced a system where, or rather I got there, and we brainstormed with the team to create a system whereby, for such a production company like Boomplay, for example, in Spotify and the like, you see all the playlists that you see every single day. So we end up creating almost 80 designs of playlists every single day, because the catalog is over 10 million playlists. So you can imagine the amount of work that is needed every single day for you to put in. So the biggest lesson that I learned there was how to use structure to have a perfect throughput, near perfect throughput. So we ended up creating a system that worked, but it didn't work for the first year. The first year it was a flop. Everybody hated it,
Okay.
And it taught me the art of patience and the art of understanding that before anyone can buy into your idea, you need to be consistent with it.
Okay, I think the two things that we are getting out of here is consistency, and I think our mentors have also have played a great role in your life.
Yeah.
I think there's a time you were working with Anime School, or you took a program with them. Yeah. How did that help your journey in animation?
That was actually a dream come true. So in 2019, if you remember correctly, there's a post that I made one time. God, I pray that I'm able to put out content that is like animation that is this good. And the person that I reposted their work was called Nick Kondo. That was in 2019.
Okay.
2 years later, I got into the school. Guess who I found as a lecturer there?
Him.
Nick. And he was like, "This is my last class with you guys. I'm leaving. And I'm leaving animation. I'm shifting. I'm not teaching for a while."
Okay.
And I was like, "Vitu za Mungu." Like when you trust God and you put your faith in Him, and you constantly push yourself to do more, God creates a way for you. He goes before you. He says, "I'll go before you," and all that. And I'm not preaching. Let's get back to the question. So mentorship is the epitome of this. The only way you grow in this industry is if you have someone to hold your hand. Or in case you don't have someone to hold your hand, you're actually looking at someone's work and emulating what they're doing. Be it via tutorials, or just following them in their socials and seeing how they're running their life and trying to capture what you see it's actually working for them and whether it can work for you as well. So mentorship has really played a big role. I'll give an example. There's this project I've been doing, and you've seen it, the tiger animation that I've been doing for a while now. Actually, I started it almost at the beginning of this year. We're almost at the end of the year, right? And the first time that I started it, I completed it. I did all the render, and then I decided, no, let me just play it on my TV and just see it. And when I sat there, I just looked at it. I just shut the TV down. I said, "No way, I'm not going to post this work. I'm never even going to say I ever completed it. I'll say it's still work in progress." And if you've seen, I've never posted it. So I decided to start again. This time round, I called my friend Carl, and he was like, "Why are you starting again? You just need to correct what was there." I just told him what was there is crap. And just start again. And then I started again, another 2 months into it. And when I got to blocking, and he was, I shared it with him. He shared my notes, and we were like, I don't feel it. Let me just start again, once more.
So this is the
third time. This is the third time. But for this third time, I got an opportunity to get a mentor who has really is a very big guy in the animation industry.
Okay.
And you've seen Groot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's the animator behind Groot.
Oh, okay.
And one of the things that I'd like to share a lot is you never know until you try.
That's true.
So when I reached out to him, he was like, "You have a lot of potential, I'll help you." And boom. The project that I've tried to do by myself for 6 months. No matter how much I tried correcting it, I wasn't moving. I didn't feel it was getting there. But within 2 weeks of working with this guy, you'll see it. By the time I'm posting this, I'll have also completed my project within a month compared to the 6 months I was doing it alone. Yeah, that's just one example of how mentorship changes how you approach things. Yeah.
Working with corporates like Boomplay, I'm sure you have a team.
Yeah.
And so how do you make sure you work with the other creatives to ensure you have a smooth workflow and the best results?
So at Avid and also like at a personal level, I have structures, systems, like the 7 Habits. 7 Habits is one of the books that I preach. You know, so you create a system where, and I run through a system. So when you join my team, you find a system that is running. So it's very easy for you to assimilate with us and be part of us and churn out content with the same quality as what we are doing. So building the system has taken 5 years. And for this system to work is a matter of trust. Do you trust the next person as much as you trust yourself? So when you're meeting with the client to have a brainstorming session, sometimes the entire team is there, sometimes I'm the only person there. And when we bring the idea to life with the client and do a lot of doodling and sketching and just brainstorming with the client, we break down the idea with the client. Now I come home and I think, so we put a project, I need motion graphics, so I need the visuals, I need the backgrounds, I need all this. So I meet up with the entire team and tell them, so you'll handle the background, you'll handle the animation, you'll handle the character design. But the designer now, your work is needed for everybody else's to move. So you have 3 days to make sure, is it possible for you to do it in 3 days? So open communication is one of the other things that I make sure the team has. And his honesty as well. So for example, you find like one of the guys I'm working with, and he's a very good guy. It's called Junior. He's a digital artist. And he'd be like, Vic, I don't feel 3 days for me is enough. But since we've already committed to 3 days, I think I'll be able to do it in 3 days. I'll be able to do 50% of it. Okay. So I go back to the drawing board. I look at who can I reach out to on the online space that can support Junior, and he'd be like, let's get somebody else. So when that person comes in, they're not under me, they're under Junior, because Junior has 3 days to make sure he gives us designs for us to submit to the client for approval before we move to animation. So that's the system that I'm working with, and that system has taken me 5 years to be able to, and it still has some ruts, and we need to tighten a few screws here and there. But I believe sooner or later, by the time we're having this other conversation, will be a full house.
Yeah, that's
by God's grace.
That's really interesting. I think for you're speaking from a leadership perspective, and I think most creatives tunakwanga BTS behind the screens, like we're not seen anywhere. But with you, it's like you're a leader, and you know how to like kuweka watu in line, and it's really interesting to listen to how you came up with all that. Now I needed to ask you, I know the jobs you've worked on, they haven't been easy. Definitely there are a couple of hitches. So how do you work around challenges that you faced, and if you can mention a few challenges that you've faced as well?
The biggest challenge we have as designers is time and tough clients. So those two things are the worst nightmare for me and the team. And you find you have to turn around a project within a month, but the project with all your might the least amount of time it can take is 3 months. So my first project, I encountered such a scenario. That was when I was 20 years old. And the client came in. I've never seen such amount of money in my entire life. I will tell you for free. I've never seen such an amount of money. Somebody willing to pay that amount of money my entire life. So
it was a really huge project.
Yeah. It was above $1 million. And I got all my friends into it. So we had to start it. We decided, because we can't quit our jobs just for one project. Let's all live together in the same house. And I thank God for friends, because the 4 friends all moved away from their homes and we all came and lived together. So in the morning we go to work as usual. In the evening we come and greet. We come and work on the project. We sleep around 3-4 a.m. And early in the morning by 6-7 a.m. we are supposed to be in the office. So, we tried. So at the end of the day, the project was supposed to take 3 months. It took a year.
Wow.
So a year of living with guys. And organizing how you're supposed to meet up with clients, and requesting for offs at work so that you can go and meet with clients. Wow. It was a lot. And I thank God, because he gave us the grace to actually churn out the project. It was a very successful project. And so the challenge on time and the challenge of tough clients was, this is how I learned how to handle it, but I didn't then. So, unfortunately, I didn't then. And the biggest lesson that I learned was creating stages in your production pipeline.
Okay.
What do I mean by that? If you get a project, let's say 100K Kenya shillings project, and you are needed to do a motion graphics, like the client requests to give you, they want a motion graphics from you, right? So you've told them it will take 100. I'll need the 100K for this, and it will take a month. The clients come back and says, no, we need 2 weeks, and we're going to pay you 150K. Are you going to pick the job or not?
You'll pick the job.
You'll pick the job. It's more money. Less time, but more money. So you create, so the issue on stages, the topic on stages, this is how you break it down. And so the first thing is, you make sure you have 2 days of scripts. So you have a 2-week production pipeline. So the first stage is scripting. Second stage is drawing the illustrations. Third stage animating. Fourth stage music, compositing, and the final stage rendering and composition. So all this should happen within 2 weeks, right?
Okay.
So you get the client to sign off every stage. So, and you tell them, because you've given me 2 weeks, you will have 2-hour turnaround time. I will call you, we jump on a call, you give me notes, I action on your notes for the rest of the day. So that tomorrow we are moving to the next stage. Because remember, you only have 2 weeks, right? So that ensures the client, you've done your animation and then they're like, I don't like this character. Can we give him a t-shirt? And you're giving him a sweater. Oh my God.
Oh, there's this video that's going through of a video editor. You've edited a video, you've put music, and left the client is like, I like the video, but can you change the music?
Something of the sort. So you find yourself in a juxtaposition, whether to give up on the client and return their deposit, or to greet and just do it. So the stages is where you need to sign off on every single stage.
Okay.
Here's the catch. The client will only get 2 changes per stage. Why? Remember, you have 2 weeks, right? And if they need extra changes, they add a day or 2.
Okay.
Right? To give you maneuverability to action on their notes.
Yeah.
Another catch. So number 1, you've attacked the timeline. They wanted 2 weeks. If they have more changes, they have to get back into their pocket of time and give you 2 days. So now we need to attack this other pocket of money, right? So every change that they bring on board is a 5% cost of the entire project. Okay. So that to me has worked a lot, because if you give me a project and I tell you, if you have more than 3 changes, you're going to pay for it. So you'll be very focused and with your details, focused with your notes, because you You don't get more than 2 chances. So that way, it ensures that your creative process is also protected. Because sometimes you get clients who want what they want. Yeah. So that's how I capture. I work through a solid production, running the team, and ensuring both the client and the team and me, we're happy. Yeah.
I think what I'm getting from this is, as a designer, you're the one you're the driver. So if a client approaches you, you're the one who sets the standards. This is how I work. This is how you're supposed to follow up on projects. And it's quite interesting. And yes, it's quite interesting because it's giving me future vibes. There's this channel called The Future with Chris Do. Yeah, I think it's giving me that kind of vibe, because I think most creatives, we're not really conversant with working with clients, and when it comes to payments as well, also protecting yourself as a designer. So we are not really conversant around those areas, and also creating contracts, just to protect yourself. Also when it comes to copywriting, that's something creatives haven't learned yet, or I think there's a gap in terms of knowledge, and I think that's something people should be educated on. And you seem really conversant with that. Like, I see you're talking about systems, you're talking about creating a plan and going through it to the client. You're telling the client, this is how we work. And I think we should create another segment just to teach creatives that, because most creatives I've talked to wanasema it's a huge challenge for them, even in terms of pricing. How do I charge for a specific service? Yeah. So hopefully we'll reach out again. You seem really wise and knowledgeable.
Humbled. It's I'd say most of this, you've mentioned The Future. He's one of the guys that I remember when I was an intern back in the day. He's one of the guys that I really, really listened to. Extremely listened to. I think I've watched 80% of his YouTube videos. He has a lot.
Yeah, I think even me, when I was starting out, I just used to watch his videos. They were quite educational. Alafu, they were a bit fun to watch also.
Yeah. So we save this video. We come back to it in 10 years' time. I might be the future of Africa.
Yeah, it could be.
Before we move to the next question,
yes.
How do you maintain your clients' trust and the relationship?
Okay. Client trust. Number one, when you tell them about the system that you've made, automatically most of them are impressed. Like when you're submitting your idea, or you're submitting your pitch deck to them, that's the first impression. First impression matters, because that's how you set the tone for the entire engagement, right? So that's the first thing, first impression. The second thing is delivering on time. As Africans, sadly, especially Kenyans, when it's this, if we agree we are going to submit by, let's say, on Monday, it's Monday the other of the following week most of the time, with a lot of SQs and a lot of closing your eyes. The client needs a motion graphics, and then you send them an illustration on Monday and tell them, I'm animating this. And then on Wednesday, you send them a screenshot of you working in After Effects. This is him moving his hand. You're just trying to play around with the client. Because of they are not knowledgeable of what's going on, you're taking advantage. So when you meet the deadlines of if the stages that you've created, and you start meeting those deadlines, you're building a trust. Yes.
There's also the hack of saying, maybe if you need to deliver a job in 7 days, you say you'll deliver in 7 days, then you deliver in 6 or 5. You think you can also build trust that way?
Yes, that's a very good. It's called over-delivering.
Yeah, over-delivering.
Over-delivering on time, on the time factor and quality factor. So if you get a project that is, let's use bare minimum 100K project, and if you do it by yourself, you're going to take 2 weeks. The client needs it in 1 week. You engage Bridget here, and you do it in 2 days. they're gonna give you more work.
Yeah, true. That way you get to also share the cake. I think sometimes it's also great to just divide the job. It's faster and more efficient.
100%. As it's a sad affair, I can say, as Kenyans. Sadly, if you get let's say you get $500,000 Kenya shillings project, you want to do it all by yourself because you want to keep the money, but you don't know there's the power in sharing.
I think even working with a team, you get more ideas than working alone. Now there's an artwork you shared recently. I think you did it with AI. You had animated. No, you didn't animate it, but okay, I can't remember exactly. But there's a project you did with artificial intelligence. Now, where we're heading at currently, we are heading into the world of the whole world will be quote unquote digital. And everything is going towards that direction. So, have you explored that side of the world, or are you looking into it? And how do you think it's going to revolutionize the creative industry?
I believe AI is here to help us. Point in case, there's a project we are doing with one of your previous guests, Ken. It's a gaming project that we're doing with him.
You're working with him on that project?
I'm doing the animation.
Okay.
So you find previously he's the guy modeling and creating the environments. He used to like go and model and sculpt in ZBrush and just get the details. But right now we just have our model, like you, for example. You just come, take pictures of you, and using Unreal, you actually get you modeled, ready and quick. So that we've saved almost 2 weeks worth of work.
So by taking photos, you take 360 photos?
Yeah, 360 photos. You take 360 photos. So you end up just, translating into 3D now. So one of the things that AI has really helped us in the production pipeline is the initial stages, especially in the concept stages where the client you're brainstorming with the client, they have an idea, and they're expecting you to go back and draw the ideas in a week. Tell them, no, let's extend the meeting time to an extra hour, and within that 1 hour you now capture all the ideas, you run them via Midjourney, you share the images, and then the client is like, I now see it. I think we need to go with this one. So it saves you the burden of back and forth in the initial stages, so you are able to get a quicker turnaround time and focus on producing the quality of work rather than the actual work.
Okay, that's a great perspective, but also still from that perspective, there's someone who's lost his job there. So maybe an illustrator, if you'd have given that job to an illustrator. So
so that's where now the diversification comes in. So as an illustrator, we work in our team. We have a full-time illustrator, and it's very good. I've mentioned it. Even with the presence of AI, we still need him. Remember, we are using AI to just create the concepts. They need to be polished in, right? So it's just a matter of you as an artist looking at how you can utilize AI to make your work better. Once you solve that gap, then you'll not be relevant anymore. But it has its, as everything, what's it called? With everything, there's an action and reaction. It was Newson's theory. With everything, there's always a positive and a negative side of things. But if you focus on the negative, it will always be negative. But if you focus on the positive, it will always be positive. So it depends on how you look at it. And that's how we are looking at it, or rather I am looking at it. Yeah.
Well, that's a really amazing perspective. Yeah, because most guests have mentioned that they're using it for their benefit. So as you've mentioned, it saves you time, it's efficient, it's really fast as well. I think most guests mentioned that.
With over 3 years of experience in 3D animation, do you have a special art that you're proud of? Special project?
Special project?
Yes.
One that you look back and you're like, I really did that. You feel proud of yourself for, accomplishing that.
I'll be honest, not yet.
Not yet.
Like something like I can look back and show you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I have one, but I do have for clients, not personal. Personal, I'm still working on it. It's still in the pipeline. A personal project, I'm still working on it. It needs to be perfect. I'm a perfectionist. But for the clients, there's one for Save the Children. It was Save the Children is an NGO, largest NGO in sub-Saharan Africa. That project, I did it as the lead animator at Human Studios. It took 3 months.
Okay.
It was a French animation. My goodness, it was crazy. It was crazy hours. I'd say that's the best project so far, due to the fact that the client was a huge client, and the fact the story that we were doing, it was impacting the kids in Malawi, Morocco, in those countries, in the sub-Saharan countries. So they were trying to educate the kids a lot. So for me, the animation was why it's a proud moment for me in terms of working with a client, is because the impact that animation had. It's not about how the animation was, but the impact of the animation to the community. Yeah.
Now, working as an animator in Kenya, I think in recent times we've seen growth in the animation industry. We've seen a couple of animators coming through, and a couple of also few animations.
Yeah.
Kama the recent one ilikuwa Kizazi
Kimoto.
Okay, Kizazi Kimoto, yes. Yeah, we've seen a rise of amazing animators. Even on social media, there are great animators out there. But definitely there are challenges that animators face in the industry. Could you mention a few?
Collaboration. So one of the challenges that I've experienced as well, and it's something I've also been let down, and I've let down, it's not my proudest moment, is starting a project, getting your friends and getting your network to do a project, to work on a project with you. And the spirit that's here in Kenya, as animators, I'd say it needs a lot of improvement, because look at how good you are and how good your friends are in terms of their work. And also the editor, that's your editing team that's here, how good they're doing their work. And you see how you've collaborated. You are leading that conversation. But my assumption will be, how long has it taken you to do that? 5 years, right? Since 2019 when you were clearings, right?
Yeah.
So if you look at imagine when you were in school, even before you get out of school, imagine when you were in school and you had this system of friends surrounding you and you collaborating. Where would you be within these 5 years, right? So that's the biggest challenge. We are not open to collaborations because everybody wants something for themselves. No harm, no foul there. But here's the thing. If only we will be open-minded to be able to collaborate with people. One of the biggest regret I have is when I was in school, I tried coordinating with, that gang you work with in school after school. I tried collaborating with them on a project over 10 times. We start an idea, 1 week it fails, 1 month it fails, 2 months it fails. I gave up.
So there isn't that willingness to collaborate. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the biggest challenge.
Yeah, that's the biggest challenge. But now, because of what's it called? After saving up a few coins here and there, now I'm able to collaborate with people and pay them. It ensures that the idea that I have is coming to life slowly but surely. I don't have enough yet to pay a full production team, because the team that's running, aside the team that I'm running at Avid with Makish and all that, is because we're getting paid by clients. But for this production idea that I have, it needs a lot of money.
Yeah.
So collaboration, money, just normal things, but especially the collaborative spirit. Our counterparts in Uganda, the 3D animate, the women in 3D animation, the studio that did the Calabash ate my homework. The director there is one of the directors at Kizazi Kimoto. Do you know that?
I didn't know that.
Imagine working at Disney. Why? Because they bought into the idea and flew with it. Uganda are doing very well when it comes to animation, yet Kenyans have the numbers. Why is that? Nigerians have done 2 fully featured animation. You know?
Yeah, there's the recent one that was on Netflix. Can't remember the name, but
imagine. Look at South Africa, Triggerfish animation. Even Triggerfish hiring guys here in Kenya.
Yeah, I saw that.
And they are quote unquote stealing our talent, yet we are here and we can utilize it even better. It's a sad affair for the general community, but happy for the individual. You make it, we clap for you. That's one of the biggest challenges that I believe us as animators here in Kenya are facing. I'd like to shed some light on a community that is really championing this conversation on collaboration. It's called A3K.
Yeah, A3K.
A3K. You've joined the community?
I've been in the group for a long time.
Perfect. So A3K are, if you're a young animator or you are a seasoned animator and you've not heard of them, it's a guild that's forming and also working with the government as well to create a system where us designers and creatives are protected. So in case you've not heard of it, kindly go check it out. So they are very good at what they're doing. And they're just animators like us, seasoned. I believe they've been in the industry for over 20 years. And they're trying to build a community of designers. So that's one of the solutions to the problem that I've mentioned. Yeah.
Amazing. And I think collaboration has also taken you further than if you'd have done whatever it is you're doing by yourself.
Yes.
That's great. Now, what excites you about the future in terms of 3D animation? Like, when you look ahead, what is it that you wish you can do, or you wish technology can help you achieve with 3D?
For me, for the immediate future, I'm looking into getting into what's it called. I sound bogus right now. I hope one day, one time, getting into studio. Sony picks out Disney for me in terms of my dream goal right now at this very moment. Afterwards is once I gather the knowledge of how guys doing, how the quality of work is going, come back here. The team I'm running right now, pour on them, get a bigger team, and just try and that dream of having a studio. You wake up in the morning and you're just like, oh my God, I'm just going to do animation today, just animation the whole day. Oh my goodness, like nobody's going to call you to do design. That's my dream.
And you're not the one doing the animations themselves. You're hiring others to do it.
For me, in as much as you're not the only one, for me, I love animation, and I hope to do animation even when I'm a grandpa. Okay. And animation is. There's this statement. I know some of us might not be religious, but it's in the good book. We are called to serve, right? And I look at animation as an avenue to serving.
Okay.
Spreading the gospel via animation, and that's my dream, to serve, because remember, God is a creative. God is the biggest creative ever. If you think about it, He made you. You guys are very beautiful and handsome, and it's not every day. Not sorry to say, you find a very beautiful and a very handsome creative. As creatives, we're just chilled, and tumejifunika na hoodies and all that.
True.
But we are starting to get out there, right? And that's the dream for all of us, to be able to realize that we are partakers of this amazing creation that we have. Yeah, and bringing animation to life is, quote unquote, acting like a small god.
And do you see AI taking over, being the game changer?
AI?
Yeah.
Tusipocheza. if we don't utilize it the way we should, then it will definitely take over. Because why would a client come to you to create an animation, a 30-second animation, if they can just do it with a paragraph?
Yeah.
Save them the hassle. So we need to be able to rise above and beyond.
Oh, so the idea is to know how to work with AI and not let it take over.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that makes sense. Actually, I think most guests have mentioned right now we're supposed to try and work with AI. Like we're supposed to like working in the team. So AI helps you with maybe doing something faster. So the goal is to what's it about here?
Incorporate AI in our projects.
Creating a synergy where it acts as a supporting system to your creativity. So the creativity aspect of it, you need to maintain it. But usikufe ukilima.
Yeah. So it helps to make work easier. Now, what will you wish you knew when you were starting out, or what to make this better? What will you tell your younger self right now, anze kufanya, so that when he's growing up, atakuwa conversant with the industry?
I'd tell him, you know what? You need to just stop what you're doing and start specializing. Because it's taken me 5 years to start specializing. I've not specialized yet. I'm in the process of specializing. Because imagine you have an umbrella, right? And looking at the industry, we can let's be imaginary kidogo. We can imagine the entire industry as an umbrella, right? But you want to pierce through the umbrella. You can't just pierce with a fist. That is, if you're doing design, motion graphics, animation, videography, photography, or music production. You can't pierce through this way.
Yeah.
If you do, just a heel. But what if you just take that one thing and do it consistently for not even long, just 1 year? You're able to pierce through very easily.
You can use that one to bring the others.
Yeah. Well, so like now Bridget is being known for design and her illustrations, right? If she continues pushing that, people will know her for that, and then be surprised that she can actually do motion graphics. Yeah. So you also get extra ammunition behind you.
Yeah, this has really been an amazing conversation, as much as we've faced a couple of technical hitches here and there, but I'm glad that we've been able to at least record something today, because last week, we were supposed to even record this podcast last week, but KPLC did that thing, sasa. Yeah, but it's really been great. This conversation has really been insightful. I've learned so much, and you seem really conversant. Aside even from animation itself, you're really conversant with working with people, creating systems, and you're sort of a leader. I don't know, was that your goal to become a leader?
To become a leader. Sometimes that's a very deep question. I've never thought about it from that point of view. I was a leader since I was a kid. I was the head boy in primary school. I was the school president in high school.
Okay.
It's something that was really impacted in me when I was a kid. So it's not something I was taught how to lead by example, by doing it. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. I've learned so much. You're really wise. We need to meet up again. Now, before we wrap things up, let's try and we're so much tension. So let's just try. I have some trivia questions.
Okay.
Can you tutulie? Now it's not around animation.
Okay.
Yeah. So. The trivia question is around animals.
Animals?
Yeah.
Okay.
Around animals. So, what's the fastest animal on Earth?
Cheetah. 60 miles per hour. from my perspective.
Fastest animal.
Amesema.
You're all wrong. No, you're
I'm
all
wrong.
wrong.
I'm wrong.
No. It's not a land animal.
It's not a land animal.
Eagle.
No, it's not an eagle. It's called a peregrine falcon. Yeah, there's also actually, I think, a bomber jet that was designed like the falcon itself, because it's fast.
Because clearly you've done your research. How fast?
Okay, I can't remember the numbers, but it's really fast. Like if ingepita hapa, you wouldn't even see it. Like it's that utangesikia tu upepo tu.
Okay, you're learning something every day.
Yeah, it's really fast. Okay, which animal is on the Porsche logo?
Push.
I'm Jui.
Kayan. I'm just finishing the word.
Hapana, no. Kayan is an animal. It's not.
I'm just guessing.
It's a horse.
You found that.
Again. Bull. So.
What is a bull?
Bull.
Yours at least is an animal. Yours at least is an animal. Mine, I don't know even what that is.
Okay, largest animal in the world.
Ferrari. Ferrari is in horse.
Sijui.
Ni horse.
Ferrari ni horse.
Oh, I think ni Porsche. Okay, things ziko kwa zote then.
Okay.
Okay, largest animal in the world.
Is it on sea? Let's now be
in
precise.
In the world.
Well.
White whale?
White whale. No, it's a whale, but sijui kama kuna white whale.
The great white whale.
No, it's a blue whale.
Or blue whale. Oh.
Yeah, it's a blue whale. The only mammal that can't jump. I won.
The only mammal that can't jump.
A sea mammal.
It's a land animal.
A land animal.
Imagine
mammal. Mammal, if I remember correctly, primary high school, what's it called? Mammal has mammary glands, right? Okay. Now I have something, but I don't have.
Okay, so just think of something that can't really jump. It's not a mammal. It's not a mammal. Okay, it's an elephant. They can't jump. They can jump.
It can run. Kama inaweza kimbia, sinaweza ruka.
Okay. Wait.
Okay, jumping with all four legs up.
All four legs, or elephant does this.
Okay, see, unajua T-Rex. You know what a T-Rex is? Yeah, so what's the closest relative to a T-Rex? I'm a descendant, yeah. Dinosaurs.
Okay, now I'm trying to look at what looks like a dinosaur. A kangaroo looks like a dinosaur. It has a tail and walks with two legs and has its two hands, right?
Okay, that's a good answer, but
it's not. It's not the answer.
It's a chicken. A chicken. They're descendants of dinosaurs. Like unaona evolution, like how man ilitoka from ape to this. So chicken is the most recent descendant. Nika sasa
so in the beginning,
Homo sapiens.
In the beginning there was no chicken, that's what you mean.
Yeah, ilikuwa dinosaurs. Alafu sasa zikaevolve.
Zikaenda zikipungua. Men grew like this.
Chickens, yeah.
We're learning every day.
Yeah, we learn every day. Hata mimi nikitafuta hizi maswali, I was like, I can't wait to ask them.
And see our clueless faces. Okay, I see what you did.
I thought ungepata hata moja ama ya Porsche.
Hakuna hata moja tumepata.
But that has really been amazing. Thank you so much for your time.
You're most welcome, and thank you also for inviting me. Such an honor, and just getting to also meet you for the first time. We've been always chatting and online and all that, but we've never actually met, so it's actually a privilege putting the face to the great name.
Yeah.
And love what you do here.
Most creatives tunakwanga tumejificha behind the screens. We just talk on social media, digital platforms, but we never meet.
Yeah.
It's
So
really
as we summarize, how can we get your handles? How can we find you on social media?
Thank you for that. I go by Vick Mure on all social platforms, be it TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, just Vick Mure. Vick, M-U-R-A, yes.
okay. In case anyone wants to reach out or collaborate, you can just reach out to him. This has really been amazing. Actually, nikwambie what I've taken out of this collaboration, kupata mentors. It's really good to have a mentor. What else? Creating systems. It's easier to work with systems than to work. You don't have a plan. Yeah, I think it takes more time than working with systems. And what else? Yeah, I think
persistence.
Consistency.
Consistency. Yeah.
Consistency. That's the big word. Actually, I even start a podcast. Consistency. Yeah.
Consistency will always give you results. Always. Yeah.
Amazing.